Congratulations on buying your new Imagebox. Right, let's go through the contents, what you get in your kit. Right, in addition to the Imagebox, you need the consumable box. And this is the starter kit, whether you're using the standard size or the thick size. You get 4 A7, 4 A6, 2 A5 and 2 A4 size image pack or image pack extra sachets. In addition to that, you get 5 sheets of film for an inkjet printer and 5 sheets for a laser printer. You get a small bottle of salts for detacking and a pair of gloves for washing the plate out. In total, that's everything you need to make stamps and start off in business. Thank you. You've got 4 tubes. You've got your Image-Bright clamp and an optional spacer for it. You've got software with instructions and the artwork program on it. You've got a timer to time the process, a manual that tells you everything about stamp making, a knife to cut the sachet out, a brush to wash it out, and then a tray to detack it afterwards. Okay, you take your bulbs out of the pack and just insert them by pressing in at each end and then just lightly twisting, and that's it, locked in. Do that for all 4 and then check that they work, but don't look directly at UV light because it's dangerous. Let's have a look at the clamp itself. You open it by just sliding at the corner there, pressing using the finger holes, and just break the magnetic contact. The top sheet will lift off, that's the clear side. The other side, which you're going to lay your negative on later, is the Image-Bright side. If you're using 2.3, 2.55mm, that's 90 or 100 thou, you need to put a spacer in. This is the sheet that comes with it. Just remove the protective covering and then just position it. It's got 2 adhesive strips down at either side, and just press it into the cavity in the clamp. Now you need to make your negative. There are full instructions in the manual, but you can make your negatives for business or craft use using a laser or an inkjet printer. If you're using an inkjet printer, remember to increase the ink density if that option is available, and then choose the optimal paper setting. For laser printers, the type that we recommend is the HP 1020 or 1022. That is a business negative, and here's a typical craft negative. Before you use your negative, look at it against the light and just check that the black is solid black. If you want to make craft stamps and you want to have them pre-cut, you would need to make a second masking negative which just sits over your designs and cuts them using the light from the system. I'm just going to show you now how you actually assemble the sachet and expose the image pack. Lay your negative reading side up on the Image-Bright side of the clamp. Place your image pack or image pack extra sachet down with the rigid side facing up, so the soft side will always touch the negative. Take your clamp with the magnets so that they touch and lock it in place, and the sachet will go flat. On the A4s, you can give it a little press in the middle to make sure that it goes flat faster. Now, let's start our exposure. We simply lift the image box and put it over the top of the clamp. We set our time to the time indicated in our manual. We press the timer and we start the exposure at the same time. Okay, now we've finished the first exposure. Stop the timer, stop the image box, lift it off. Now what we've made now is the floor or the support to our stamp. So we now turn the clamp over, put the image box back on, reset the timer again to the time stated in your manual for the particular type of image pack that you're using. It'll be between 8 and 12 minutes, and we press the start button again and expose through the negative. That's not okay, now we've finished the second exposure through the negative. We can lift the image box off, turn our clamp over, open it again by just pressing in the corner, and the magnets will break. You can lift off the sheet. At this stage you can test if your image pack has made a proper stamp by feeling nice soft liquid around nice hard stamp. Now remember, the side you want to cut is the side that was next to the negative, so either keep that side in mind, or if it's got text on it, you can just cut the side with the text in reverse on it. Now we'll move our cutting mat into operation, and we'll cut just inside the seam with the scalpel. Make sure that when you do the corners you overlap, just to make sure that it will pull away cleanly. And we can just peel off the protective cover, and we've got our liquid and our solid stamps. And now we want to take that to the washing up bowl and wash it out. You're going to use gloves at this stage because the polymer is a very mild irritant. Some people are not affected, but we recommend people wear gloves as a matter of course. Now to wash it out, use hot water. A sink is ideal, and you can squirt a generous amount of washing up liquid, then use the brush provided and move it in a circular fashion so that you don't damage any fine text. And you want to run this over the plate for probably a minute or two on a big A4 like this, making sure that you've got all of the liquid off. Then hold it up to the tap, rinse it and repeat. Right, I'm just going to give that another wash or two. Okay. This is much easier in a sink where you can and there is our set of stamps. Okay, so after rinsing we have our set of stamps made from our artwork exactly like that. Now we need to harden this, and to do that, take the tray, put in enough water just to cover it, and you want to put in about a teaspoonful of these salts, and then just dissolve it. This, just like the polymer, is a very mild irritant, so make sure you don't get it on your hands. Right. Now we've got it dissolved, and we've got our stamp sheet covered by water. Now we put it back under the image box and put it on. Okay, this is the last stage of your stamp manufacturing process. This is hardening the stamp, taking the surface tack off it. You can leave it in here for longer than 10 minutes. That's not going to be a problem. However, if you're using clear stamps, they will go yellow with prolonged exposure to UV light. Okay, so now you'll either have made a business sheet of stamps like this in A4, A5, A6, A7 or even A8 format, or you'll have made a craft one in clear. If you've made a business sheet, then you will be sticking it onto a self-inker or onto a hand stamp. Okay, so you put it on your self-inker or on your hand stamp, and you have your perfect self-inking image in about 30 minutes time. If you're going to use craft stamps, then if you cut out your design, you can cut round it accurately. Now if you were going to use the double negative process that I mentioned earlier, then all of these stamps would be pre-cut, but in this case I've made a solid sheet, and I just cut the stamp, peel it off, stick it onto the acrylic block. The back is naturally sticky for life, ink it up,